I'm Danielle Cook, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with the Cook Sisters, brought to you by the United States Botanic Garden. We're very pleased to be with you regularly to offer online cooking demonstrations and at-home garden tips. We've got some beautiful winter greens today, and I'll be making a kale salad with roasted delicata squash. And we'll also pay a visit to the other cook sister, Adrienne, who's going to take us once again around her garden and give us some tips on growing winter greens. So let's get started. I'm using delicata squash today because it doesn't need to be peeled, but you could use any kind of winter squash. Remove the seeds and then cut the squash into 1-inch size cubes. Transfer the cubes to your baking sheet and drizzle with some olive oil, sea salt, and 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. Next, give your squash a little massage. Put them in a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes. Remove the ribs from your lacinato kale. We just want to work with the tender leaves today. Oh, what's this? We have a visitor. He'll be better served outside than in our salad. I usually compost the ribs, but you could hold on to them if you were making vegetable broth. Stack or roll up your kale leaves and cut them into thin strips. Kale is among the most highly nutritious vegetables, an excellent source of vitamin C and vitamin B6 and phosphorus. Eat your winter greens because they also contain powerful anti-cancerous compounds. Our dressing is going to consist of plain yogurt, some lemon juice, some almond butter, and if you don't have almond butter, you can substitute tahini. Chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, which are quite hot. They come in a can and can be found in your supermarket. A little bit of garlic, some paprika, and some salt. Blend until smooth. This is easiest done in a mini food processor or a bullet. Now we're going to take half of the dressing and mix it very, very well into the kale. The kale should marinate in the dressing for at least a half an hour. The longer it sits, the better it'll taste. Time to check on our squash. It's tender and beautifully roasted and ready to join the kale. Next, we're going to add the pumpkin seeds and mix well. And lastly, we're going to add some nice dollops of goat cheese. And if you're a fan of blue cheese, you can do that instead. A final drizzle of dressing, and our salad is complete. And now, let's pay a visit to Adrienne and see what's going on in her garden.
Much of the summer garden has been cleared out. Why? Because we're going to be getting our greens in next. That's what we're doing today. Greens like Swiss chard and arugula are the backbone of the fall garden. These were planted in August, but they're going to keep going through November. Today I'm going to plant kale and mustard. I'm preparing wide rows of each of these because I want to fill the entire bed. The seeds are small and a little goes a long way. My row is about 5 feet long and 8 inches wide. I'll be using less than a teaspoon of seed. Cover the seeds lightly, they don't want to be buried, and tamp down. Next, we'll do a row of mustard. This is a bed that was sown a couple of weeks ago with radishes, cilantro, parsley, garden cress, and chervil. I expect to harvest these for much of winter. When they go dormant, when it gets very, very cold, they'll still come back in the spring for a very early spring harvest.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you next week to talk about garlic